Thanks everybody for joining us today. This is our inaugural episode in this series about dads and talking to dads. So whole purpose of this series is to promote positive images of Black fatherhood and have authentic conversations about Black fatherhood. So today I have joining us my line brother, Ray James. So as an LSU graduate, Ray's education career began in the Department of First Year Experience at LSU. Since then, Ray has taught and led in Clayton County and Atlanta Public Schools and KIPP Metro Atlanta and KIPP New Jersey Newark Charter School Networks. So while in Newark, he served as the school's director of extended learning and 8th grade level chair. Outside of school, Ray enjoys spending time with his wife and young daughters and relishes and victories of the Los Angeles Lakers. Not that many of them going around now. LSU Tigers and culture. So, and on top of that, Ray is a matchmaker. So fun fact, Ray actually introduced me to my wife many moons ago. With that said, welcome, Ray.
Life is good. Life is good, man. I can't complain. Summer break. Educators are free from the craziest year of education ever. Well, not education, but schooling in particular. But the year is over with. Looking forward to next school year. Looking forward to just chilling and relaxing this summer, man. And we 1 week away from Father's Day.
So I think isn't Kendall getting ready to start like big girl school, big kid school?
Kendall is getting ready to start her official kindergarten through 12th grade experience. She's gonna be at a private school out here in Atlanta. And just looking forward to it, man. The school has a lot of good extracurriculars, a lot of good connections in the community here in Atlanta. And you know, she's done well in preschool. She's done well in test scores and things of that nature. So I'm just looking forward to seeing, you know, who and what she becomes as she starts, you know, the official K through 12 journey.
I can imagine that's kind of probably it makes you and Ryan and Kendall like a little bit nervous. Like we've been like talking up like big kid school with Bryson. So I can imagine you guys probably doing the same and kind of selling it a little bit.
But selling it hard.
Yeah, it's like you trying to sell it like life is about to begin for you.
The good thing is she's been like in a formal school setting for the past like 2 to 3 years, 3 years really. So, you know, in terms of school, she knows like the structure of school. She's at a school right now for pre-K, which is like a good thing because I know some parents wait until kindergarten to start their kids in like school. But I think that her having a couple of years of like actual school experience is going to benefit her well.
And for the sake of our audience, so Kendall is Ray's oldest daughter. Kendall just turned 5 this year, right?
Yep, back in January.
So one thing I wanted to kind of do with the series is kind of say like, all right, one thing that I've been able to kind of borrow as a dad from like, you know, whoever I'm speaking with. So one thing that I've been able to borrow from Ray as a dad is get your kids involved in like everything and kind of let them kind of like you just talked about, find out who they are and kind of who they want to become. So like those kinds of things, not limiting your kids in any kind of way. So that's one thing I was able to borrow from you. So if you want to give Kendall a shout out, let everybody know all the stuff she got going on.
So Kendall has done, let's see, she's done T-ball, she's done gymnastics, she's done soccer. Her 2 favorite activities that we're like paying for currently anyway, are ice skating. She's really big into ice skating. She's been skating now she's 5. She's been skating since she turned 2 or 3. So she has a couple of years under her belt. She's been in a couple of competitions, a few shows and things of that nature. Confidence is growing through that. And then another one that she's, I think comes a little bit more natural to her, surprisingly, is swimming. She takes swim lessons. She's now on a swim team just because they don't have swim teams for kids that young or competitions for kids that young. But at her school, they do have a swim team that she'll be able to join, I think in 2nd or 3rd grade. They don't have an ice skating team at the school, but the arena that she skates at does have a team that she'll be on probably within like the next year or so to be able to compete, not just like regionally, like here in north of Georgia, but also should be able to compete potentially nationally. And who knows where it may take her. I'm looking forward to just seeing what other extracurriculars and interests she has once she goes to actual school, where it's like lots of clubs and activities. Because right now, a lot of the things that she's been involved in, whether it's like she took a little cooking class for a little while, it's been things that me and the missus have been able to find, and or just like things, unique experiences we wanted her to have, like ice skating. Neither one of us ice skates, but we were like, yo, we got a black girl. What can we do that's like cool for a black girl? We was like, yo, let's see if she likes ice skating. And she stuck with it for a while. And like I said, she's getting better. Confidence is growing. And that's like the biggest reason. And like I'm pulling in some like educational theory stuff. The biggest thing about extracurricular experiences, that one, from like a minute level, is that it gives kids access to tier 2 and tier 3 vocabulary, to where they can hear words in their extracurricular and then translate that to academics, like things like a pump, or she knows that like a pump is not just like something that you like pump up a ball or something like that. A pump can be like an ice skate move, or a swizzle. She knows so many different words, or a backstroke and things of that nature, words that are like domain specific within the context of a sport or activity, but you see them come up in books and in classes and things of that nature. And then from the long-term standpoint, we want to try and get her involved in as much as possible, because one, colleges, when I know that that's like 15 years down the line or so, but it starts early, and the habits that you build early are going to translate into who the kid becomes when they're in 6th grade, 9th grade. And you really want them to start exploring their identity, exploring their interests. If a kid has never been involved in anything and they're 12 and you're like, hey, go join the club, they're going to be like, I don't really know what I want to do. I don't know what I like. And then definitely if a kid is in 9th grade, 12th grade or so, and you're trying to get them involved in something, it's going to be like pulling teeth and nails. And then one of the last benefits is like the social aspect. Her ability to make friends and make them quick it is wild to see, but I know it's 100% because she's always meeting and interacting with so many different people, to where, cool, if I'm at the park, I know I'm going to go up to this kid and I'm going to introduce myself. And then that turns into, cool, I'm an adult that knows how to network and politic and connect, to, do whatever I want to do.
I can't say, how much I kind of agree with, everything that you just said, man. It's, so for the purpose of our audience, so my oldest son is, and my only son is 4 years old. He would be turning, turning 5 in February. But during this like whole COVID kind of thing, it was really good to kind of have him be involved in like, karate and soccer, and kind of do like what like you're talking about, Ray, and be able to kind of network and kind of develop those networking skills early, but then also kind of how do you operate in spaces where it's like, all right, mom and dad aren't telling you something, like it's another adult, so you want to give them respect, but you also have, self-agency and all those kinds of things,
Self-regulation. If a kid cannot self-regulate when they are not around their parents, they're not going to be successful in school, because you have to be able to regulate yourself and know like, cool, I can like dance and be wild right now. Cool, I need to sit down and be quiet and listen. And those are definitely skills that they get from interacting. And then, you play sports, everybody got to be coachable. You're not
always got to be coachable. And so one thing, man, that so a difference between like myself and you is you were heavily involved, I feel like growing up, whereas I necessarily wasn't. So I just say that to say that, like, even if like your dad out there, and you weren't necessarily the most involved in school, that, it doesn't mean that, you can't be as active in like your kids' extracurriculars and have them.
The best thing about being a dad is that your kids only know what you give them. So you could be a superhero and your kids are gonna be like, I bet you're a superhero. Yeah, I know nothing else other, you know what I mean? So like that's like Kendall doesn't know like I can't ice skate. She knows like, cool, dad can balance. He must be good. But I don't have to be an ice skating pro to make her want to, be involved and get better at ice skating. So
it's like they're bar for you as a parent. You don't find out that like your parents don't know everything until much later in life. Yeah. But that's funny, man. Me and Rana always joke about guys' kind of gift to parents is that your kids' memory don't really start until like 3. So you got 3 years to kind of get it right, or at least inch towards that direction. And even more so than that, like that brings me to something I want to talk about with you. Like, did you ever imagine like life being exactly what it is right now? You know?
Man, it's funny that you asked that. Yes and no. The reason I say yes is because I was blessed, kind of different from a lot of homies that I grew up with. I was blessed to grow up with my father. If I had put my full name on the Zoom, you would have saw Johnny Ray James. I think I changed it like mid-recording at the beginning. It said J. Ray James. But I grew up with my father. My mom and dad have been married for, their anniversary is actually in about 2 weeks. They've been married for, I think, 37 years or something like that, 36 years. I actually don't know, but they've been married for over 30 years. And so like growing up, I knew like, yo, I want to have kids. I want to have a family. I want to be married. I want to have a house. I want to, do X, Y, Z. And so like, I always wanted that. But if you had asked me like 10 years ago, like, yo, will you be an educator with 2 little girls living where you live? I'd have been like, nah, man. Cause like, I'm a country boy from Louisiana. My wife is from the doggone east side of Detroit. Like two worlds of difference in terms of upbringing. And just to know that, like, cool, because of school, I was able to meet this girl, connect with her, and ultimately build what will become my legacy. I never could have imagined, couldn't have painted a better picture for my life. Definitely things can always be better, but like I wouldn't change where I'm at or what I'm doing for anything. So yes, I would have imagined it, and not like I couldn't have imagined it.
What do you think? Like, so I have a very similar answer where it's like, yeah, I grew up with like both of my parents, and I always aspired to kind of like have like that, Martin Gina kind of like relationship.
Yeah.
They stayed together and worked it out. But
Yeah.
like you said, man, it's just God listens to like whatever you tell God, that you want, it'll come to fruition. But you can end up in a place and be like, man, I couldn't even imagine like life could be like this great. So